Thank you, General Saslav. Representative Michael T. McCaul, Chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, will now deliver his remarks.
Thank you. It's truly an honor to be here today, but also to be in the presence of our veterans of Battle of the Bulge. You're truly heroes, and I thank you for being here today. Today we gather to honor and remember the valor and sacrifice of the men who fought the bitter cold of December 1944 and changed the course of history. The freedoms that we enjoy today were born out of this bloody battle, which Winston Churchill described as undoubtedly the greatest American battle of the war. 80 years ago, in the Ardennes forest of Belgium, Luxembourg, and Germany, the Battle of the Bulge began. A desperate and brutal offensive by Nazi forces that tested the resolve of the Allied troops. While the U.S. and Allied forces faced tremendous challenges against a well-equipped and well-trained enemy, the American troops did what they do best. They stood up to the challenge and held the line. This was also my father's war. I cannot stand here today without thinking about him. James McCaul, a veteran of the European theater, he served as a bombardier on a B-17, known as the Flying Fortresses, participating in 32 bombing missions on enemy targets, including this one right here today. He was part of the largest bombing mission in U.S. history in support of the D-Day invasion in Normandy, as well as the skies above us during the Battle of the Bulge. He was and is always my hero, as are you. And so too are all those who bravely liberated a continent and defeated evil. Their commitment to victory at all costs exemplified the grit and defiance of the American spirit. It was here in the frozen forest that the world witnesses strength and unity and resolve. Soldiers like the men of the 101st Airborne who held the line in Bastogne. Despite being surrounded and outnumbered, they refused to surrender. They understood the stakes that were happening right here. Aside from the death and carnage from the battle, American troops faced one of the coldest winters in recorded history, with record-breaking temperatures sinking as low as negative 18 degrees Fahrenheit. Trench foot, frostbite, Arctic conditions were just as deadly as Hitler's army. Supply lines were stretched thin. Troops were exhausted from constant combat as they advanced across Europe, closing in on Berlin. The battle spanned 6 weeks and had staggering costs: 80,000 casualties, nearly 20,000 killed Americans, and 20,000 taken prisoner. And the SS did not abide by the Geneva Convention. All told, 500,000 Americans, along with over 500,000 Allied troops, fought in this battle. It was the bloodiest battle for U.S. forces during the entirety of World War II. The Allied victory here broke the back of the Nazi war machine and paved the way for liberation of Europe. The memory of this battle should reinforce the moral clarity to defend freedom at all costs. My father's generation, your generation, fought to eradicate evil, and we must never forget their sacrifices and continue the legacy of freedom that they handed down to us, to my children, and to our grandchildren. As a Texan, I'm also proud that many heroes of this battle went to Texas A&M University, which I represent, including then Colonel James Earl Rutter. He was a distinguished Texas A&M alumnus who was a commanding officer of the Army's 2nd Ranger Battalion. He was one of the amazing soldiers who landed at Omaha Beach and stormed Point du Hoc, scaling 100-foot cliffs, neutralizing the German guns above. He continued his mission across Europe, fighting in this very battle, the Battle of the Bulge. And the relevance of this battle is just as important today as it was 80 years ago. History can repeat itself. Once again, we are witnessing the largest land invasion in Europe since 1939, with Russian aggression in Ukraine and Eastern Europe. We are also witnessing the rise of Chairman Xi in China, and the Ayatollah in Iran is also rearing his ugly head. We are witnessing a world on fire and a battle again between good and evil. The significance of this battle must serve as a reminder that freedom is never free, that the democracies around the world must rally to the cause of freedom when it is under attack. We do not choose our enemies, they choose us. And just as we fought the Nazis during World War II, we will continue to fight for freedom and democracy. It is our duty to take the lessons learned from our fathers, grandfathers, and history to preserve what these men fought for. In a time of great peril, these men fought against tyranny and oppression to preserve freedom. History will always remember them as the greatest generation. May God bless our veterans, the fallen heroes of Battle of the Bulge, the great people of Bastogne and the United States of America, and may he hold them in the palm of his hand. Thank you.